to the final FMQs review show of 2013. I dare say down at Holyrood today or tomorrow, probably this afternoon actually, they'll have cabin fever. They'll be rushing around. In fact, what's that pub?
Let's go down there and
That's
Emma.
Hema.
Aye.
Was it last year at this time when they were all boozing it up?
Are we live?
The staff and the MPs.
Are we live talking
Yes,
about?
we are.
Oh, drinking.
Are we broadcasting live?
No.
No, you're just recording.
Right then. We've kind of all agreed that it was Yabu boring sucks FNQs. Too much politeness. I have to say I thought that Jola did quite well today, so we'll see how the rest of the gentlemen do. Let's start off with who's fired up about anything. Noddy?
Same old. Joanne came out with NHS in Lanarkshire, moan. Alex came back with a pile of stats saying, well, it's better than it was last year. I know it's terrible.
I thought she came back with, he can show me his numbers are better than ours. And then
no,
somebody interrupted. Who was that?
He showed his numbers. His numbers were definitely better than hers. But I mean, what's really pisses me off? I think I've mentioned this in the past. My dream for Holyrood was always there would be a kind of consensual politics there about improving Scotland, and it just looks like Westminster but more amateur.
Well, it was never going to be that.
No, but you know, I mean, that was kind of
a grown-up parliament, you mean?
Well, you know, a kind of like
an adult parliament.
I would love for somebody to get up and say the National Health Service is not doing as well as it could, but we know you're improving it. Let's try harder.
You couldn't say that. What? Say that they're improving it. Only us could improve it and nobody else.
I mean, they can get up and say you've continued the improvement we started. I mean, it doesn't really matter how they phrase it.
That would be.
But I'm really getting fed up with this. And then Jackie Bailey gets up and asks a question about welfare and gets her stats. Sorry, doesn't get her stats wrong because the stats don't come out till tomorrow. But, you know.
She did treat that supercilious smirk.
It's just mind-numbingly.
I think that's wind, actually.
Right, the presiding officer did actually pull up Jola for not asking a question, but she still blundered on with her speech.
For another 2 minutes.
Aye.
Yeah, just
and why didn't
boring prattle which somebody else has written for her. I wouldn't mind if it was her own words, but it's not. And I mean, she really should change whoever writes those speeches.
The interesting stat that the Herald's poll today, nobody knows who she is.
No.
This is in the cartoon. They had a cartoon yesterday.
She went along. Get Frankie Ball to write her speeches. You know.
How can you be leader of the Labour Party, the second biggest party in Scotland, and nobody knows who you are? What's that about?
Well, we know what that's about. It's because it's a London-led party. And,
but then when you said it was boring
and
as
the
well,
MPs always want to get on the telly these days.
Congratulations to Duncan for getting his nomination for the Scottish Executive Board of the Labour Party.
Does that mean he's in?
The Mickey Mouse Party.
It is more or less assured, is it not?
No idea. Depends. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, he'll fit well in there.
But if he was showing up in Glasgow lately for.
Well, if their executive can actually get it together to give some kind of vision, rather than what we got today, which was moans, doom and gloom, 7 years of famine and all the rest of that, that type of thing. Yeah, if they can get something slightly more positive.
No, I can't even remember what was Ruth?
Ruth was about burglary, and it was hang, flog, and skin them. 12 months.
Sentences are not just for Christmas; they're for
all year.
That's it.
Just like dogs.
That was it.
I like that.
And Willie Rennie had a right smirk on.
Oh, an irrelevant, nasty little man.
He's a prat. He couldn't even say Merry Christmas, and then he tried to say, why don't you congratulate me and my lot for doing a fantastic job, because it's all down to us, leaving an open goal for him to say, are you joking? You know, the guy's he couldn't even remember to do the boring but necessary, I don't really mean this, but I wish you a happy Christmas. first.
I think Alex had the best line, quoting Vince Cable. London is draining life from the country.
But
Exactly.
it's that thing with figures, you know, figures don't lie, lies figures, lies damn lies and statistics. But with unemployment, people are getting their benefits stopped. People are getting thrown off what they now term welfare, social security. It's getting withdrawn from hundreds of thousands of people. They're going out and they're having to eat at food banks. They're going out and working out here and now there on zero contracts. I mean, there's no any new jobs, and those that are verifiable are mostly part-time jobs. So basically, you get one job, split it into four, and you've got 4 new jobs.
Well,
I mean, really, the only way to describe Willie is a nasty wee shite.
Right, that's fair enough. Well, look, let's just go straight into I think we should just go straight into, into scoring and then have a more general discussion.
Yeah,
So,
caught me on the hop there.
well, you can get the table. I'll fill in for a bit more for that. Apparently, according to Alex Hammond also, he did say that Scotland is the safest place on earth when it comes to health.
Yeah.
According to
Alex Hammond.
no. According to the man who was commenting on the safety system,
Professor
he said-
Crawford or what?
Yeah, however it was, it was the best on earth. Yes.
But yeah, but it's not,
Wait a minute, not for health. It was the best system for identifying shortfalls.
the best safety system.
it's definitely not the best for health. Absolutely no way. I think I'd give that to the French or
Like Cubans.
Yeah, considering what they've
Well,
got.
the Cubans, yeah.
Cuban,
I mean,
yeah.
look, health is a perennial. They all try it. They all know that it's a bottomless pit. They all try it, and once they're in opposition, they try and criticise any shortcoming they can find. People on trolleys, whichever percent are happy.
What was the expression Joanne came out with? Trolley stops?
Trolley stops. People lying on a trolley.
Lying on
when they go
trolleys,
into emergency.
okay.
So it's a classic, and it's happened. It happens in Westminster.
Easy solved to make them all stand.
Actually-
Doesn't matter how big they are.
I was on
Make
a
them
trolley
stand.
when I broke my wrist for about 7-8 hours. But it made sense to be on a trolley. I wasn't sitting. I was on a trolley because I had to be taken there. So they're not going to take me off the trolley, put me in a bed, then take me out of the bed and put me back in a trolley. No, sorry, I'm a lazy guy. I prefer to lie down and sleep.
Can't you have people lying about in wheelchairs in corridors?
Anyway, the whole thing.
Trolleys only.
Anyway, gentlemen, you're obviously all frustrated about the performances today. So let's
Yeah, it
just
was
score
boring,
and,
wasn't it?
and-
Scored.
and move on to
I'll
what
start then.
the other topics. Right, off you
Right
go.
then. Alec, he was just boring, so I'll give him a 6. Joanne was moaning, so I'll give her a 4. And the other two can fuck off.
That's fairly
Short,
quick.
sharp, and sweet.
Alex.
Happy Christmas.
I'll give Eck a 7 because he was prepared and competent
He had the best
in
lines.
his response. He did.
Not with the Lockerbie
He
bit,
did.
he wasn't.
I would have liked being Christmas.
No. You just
Shut
didn't
up,
want.
mate.
You didn't get the answer you wanted.
Chicken
I would have liked it being Christmas for a bit more rapier wit, to be frank, but nobody seemed that interested in rapier wit. So I'll give him 7. I'll give Joel 4. I'll give Ruth Davison 3. And Willie Rennie, I'll give him fuck all because he's a twat. And then the presiding officer, I'll give her 5. I'll give you 5, as Janice in Birmingham used
Used
to
to
say.
say.
Yeah, I'll give her 5 as
Thank Your
well.
Lucky Stars was the name of that programme.
No, originally it was shit. It was,
Is this just to underline how boring?
Yes, it was very bad. I'll just score while he's thinking about this. I still think that Alex Salmond had the best lines. He also came out with that Scotland produces 7 times as many hydrocarbons as we use. It's because of the oil and gas.
yeah, it was good.
And yet we still produced in 2012 more than 40% of our electricity was produced from renewables.
And we're on target for 45 by 2050.
Yeah.
So it's all, you know.
That was good.
And he also pointed out the Scottish Tories are split on wind power. Apparently, 3 of their 13 MSPs
I'm
have
sorry.
actually got wind turbines on their land.
They're millionaires.
That's not split.
That's hypocrisy.
That's just greed.
Yeah. Yes. They'll only do it not because they believe in it, because they're getting something out of it to line their pocket.
I mean, they shouldn't be. If we had any sense, what we would do actually is say, by the way, you've got a couple of million acres, we're putting wind turbines up. I'll let you know when we'll be around.
Right, well, anyway, I'll give
We'd
Alex.
like to thank you for your donation to the Common
Yeah,
Good.
correct.
I'll give Alex his customary decent, half decent score, but I'll just drop him to 7. I think yes. I mean, but even so, he just had the best lines.
He only did that because he's got a very high standard.
Exactly.
But
Then with Jola, I thought she performed rather well today, but it was such a boring thing. I still can't give her more than 4. Ruth practically shot herself in the foot. 1. And Willie, well, he got shot down.
Totally
As soon as he opened his mouth, it gave Salmon the end with the Vince Cable quote.
Aye, that's right.
And all he did was spout coalition policy, so he gets nothing.
Which, by the way, I think is apropos Happy New Year, what might be happening in 2014, is an interesting entree because, in my opinion, if you were in the Cabinet Solidarity in a coalition, you wouldn't be making comments like that. So you'll start to see the movement
Oh,
now.
you're just talking about Cable.
Jockeying, yeah.
They're placing themselves for the election.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Which is
presenting
good for
officer
us.
5.
Yeah.
Might be good for the Labour Party as well.
This is going to be real quick. Wasn't impressed with Alex. Competent, but definitely would have been scoring goals if he'd been playing football. I'm only going to give him 5. Joanne! She gets 2. I'm giving Ruth 2, just because I can't even remember what she said. So she wasn't so bad I can remember it. She wasn't so good that I can remember. Willie gets nothing because why do we need Westminster politics when we've got Holyrood?
Interestingly, I would actually suggest
Let him give me 1 score.
All right. I just wanted to
Presiding officer gets 10 because she actually told somebody off.
No, fair enough. Well, while you're adding them up, I would just, I know it didn't reflect on my score, but the truth is, Ruth Davidson actually asked the most difficult question. Because, quite frankly, when I was listening to this the other day, I thought, it cannot make fucking sense to lock people up for nicking stuff at Christmas 5 times more than at Easter. It's pish.
I agree with you.
Oh, but they can't steal your Christmas presents at Easter. They can steal your eggs.
No. What the problem is at Christmas, instead of professional thieves doing it, it's opportunist thieves. It's people who don't normally thieve.
He's speaking with some experience, by the way.
Yeah,
He is. And that's what it's aimed at.
Is it?
That's what it's aimed at. It's aimed at the people kicking the doors in instead of jimmying the doors.
Aye. As a deterrent.
Yeah.
Jakey's, junkies.
Jakey's, yeah.
Jakey's and Junkies.
He should have
No,
said
they steal all the time. They're just not very good.
Jakey's, Junkies and Ouija's.
That's a...
Sorry.
That's fucking racist. He should have said that if that's the case then.
But it is really.
There's a hiatus at Christmas with a whole bunch of people doing it who don't normally do it, and we're trying to tell them that's why we're doing it. Shit, sit down, shut.
Yeah, and then,
But he might not know that. But that's the only.
I think he does. I think he does know it. He kept trying to suggest it. It's got nothing to do with the government.
Kenny would have known.
Would somebody like to change their score for the presiding officer? Up 1 or down 1?
Why?
Because I'm not having a draw.
Oh, we'll have a draw then. No.
That's because
Okay.
you gave her 10, you daft twat.
No, she deserved it.
She didn't.
Willie Rennie got a not very well deserved 0 because actually he should have got a minus. But
That's
We
probably
were
true.
being generous.
so
yeah.
Willie's got nicked.
Uh-huh.
Ruth's got 6.
Yeah.
Actually, Alex scored her higher than me, which is unusual. Jola did all right. She got 14, which it's not too bad. Presiding officer and Alex are on 25.
Yes,
Very good.
Distorted.
That was because I gave the presiding officer 10. But I think she should be encouraged to shout at people.
So did I, but she's not doing it.
But she let herself down because she let Joanne carry on for another
But
2 minutes.
you
She
do
should have
know-
cut her mic.
Have you not noticed that every time we give her a round, she sorts herself out the next week? So she obviously watches us.
Aye, right.
Takes it on board. So she should be encouraged when she does well.
I can make one final comment. Given that it's Christmas, you could at least have given somebody in the back row a fucking shout instead of giving it to all the usual suck.
Well, they could have given it to one of the 5.
That's what I mean.
The toilet group. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a definite conspiracy there.
They need to sort that out.
Because I think both sides are scared of giving it to that wee group because you'll get something different from the Nats and something
There's
different
actually,
from the Labourites.
if you think about it, there's nobody who is less than competent in that group.
Yeah, that's why they don't give them anything.
The 2 defective SNP
Yeah,
can
are
hold
very
their own.
competent.
Margot can hold their
Yeah.
own. All the Greens
Yeah.
speak well.
Yeah. No,
You know?
there's only 2 of them.
Patrick and Alison.
Well,
Yeah.
there's 3 of them.
There's a 3, I thought.
No, I think so.
Though Alison, well, just as we
No,
had
it
to
must only
mention
be
her.
2 because it's
One for Edinburgh, one for Glasgow.
But just as we're sitting, mind this whole bit about the bedroom tax bit and Labour sign our bedroom tax, end the bedroom tax, that and arse and all the rest of it. So the SNP had got 20 million, and there's some limit they can do because of rules from Westminster. But they were getting another 15 million, which was coming from an underspend on environmental project, which is like insulation, and people aren't picking up. So there's 15 million quid. So on the relevant committee,
That's
there's
why the Greens
the
object.
5. Well, it wasn't just the Greens.
I know,
Yeah,
that's why the Greens object.
Yeah, you had that. It was Alison, Murdo Fraser, and 2 Labourites, right? And the Labour are going on about do this. So they were going to put that 15 million along with the 20 million, and the Labour voted with the other 2. It's gone there because there was 5 SNP, but they actually voted. So I mean, the hypocrisy. In other words, so if you decide to pick any money, it's wrong. Whatever you decide to do, it's wrong. So they actually don't want them to do anything about the bedroom tax, quite obviously, because they like it being like that.
They're both in a similar situation. I'm sorry, the
Hypocrites.
SNP really don't want to solve the problem either.
No,
Because it's a bat to beat Westminster. Labour don't
Yeah.
want to solve it because it's a bat
Bat
to
to
beat
beat-
Westminster.
the hypocrisy is appalling.
They don't want to solve it. I mean, they'll alleviate it, but it has to
Anyway, if
stay.
they put money, if the SNP government put money alleviating the effects of the bedroom tax, it gets taken out of their
Budget elsewhere.
Barnett formula anyway.
No, I was arguing the other night it was on Facebook with some Labour colleagues, ex-Labour colleagues, ex-councillors and all that about that, and I had a few as well. So, and you don't go onto Facebook when you've had a few.
you don't.
I says, tell you what I'm going to do next 14th of September. I says, the 2 of you lot deserve yourselves. What's that? I says, Cyber Nats and Cyber Brit Nats. I says, you deserve each other. I'm going to the pub on the 18th of September. 18th of September. I'm going to the pub.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a few people in the pub.
Right.
Hopefully.
General issues, of course, gentlemen. We were talking, of course, about a lot more than just First Minister's questions. It was so dull. There was a poll published yesterday, which the presentation by the Herald was extremely dubious. But apparently, the Yes campaign is making progress. The No campaign is slipping back.
Wasn't the front page headline fairly positive?
But it was
Yeah, it is
also
actually, Very positive
Yeah.
front page.
What does it say? Poll shows Yes campaign is closing gap. Well, you couldn't ask for more positive than
That's
that.
very, very
Headline.
positive.
subheadline.
I
Yeah,
find
I haven't got my glass on, I can't read it.
Credit rating agency issues warning of instability over currency
that's a
union.
different issue though.
Next thing, Magnus Garden.
No. That's 3/4 of the article is negative.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And
And that's the beginning of the article. You've got to wade through all the negativity to get to the positive.
Yeah.
Ah, you see, but that's it. So the Yes go, see, that's rather dastardly, right? Oh, look, they're for us. Oh, yes. So they start reading it, and then they start hit all insidious propaganda to try and undermine you.
And yesterday's poll headline was about Nicola Sturgeon and Alex Salmond not managing to pick up women voters.
Right.
But again, the headline,
And then they produced the stats that prove that Salmond and Sturgeon are more popular with women, with men, with 16-year-olds, with every group
Yeah, but-
compared to every other
I know, but
politician in the land.
the only analyst who presented that was Wings Over Scotland. The rest of the media didn't.
no, of course
They
they
missed
No, but the
Willie's group,
stats were
though.
there.
They missed Willie's
Who reads
group.
them?
Willie's group.
Yeah, they missed Willie's group, the 2-year-olds.
Oh, we didn't cover that up. I see also this week Danny Alexander, what do they call it? The ginger rodent.
Yeah, ginger rodent.
From Inverness-shire. He was speaking on behalf of the Treasury and blowing up a 1.6 billion annual black hole in the white paper.
Which is actually good, because that's come down dramatically, because it was tens of billions, wasn't it, at one
It
time?
started off at 16, dropped to 14, went to 8.
No.
Yeah, it's getting less and less,
About 5 by next.
by Easter we'll be in
And what was-
real huge surplus.
And what was Alex Salmond doing, packing food bank baskets or boxes the other day, and then coming out, well, what you shouldn't. I mean, I've actually confronted the people running a food bank in Tesco's, Leith, because I said, it's shocking that the government is no longer doing this. You've got to have volunteers to feed the poor in this country.
Yeah, but this is the
This was not the world I
Americanisation.
was. This was not the world I was born into.
Yeah, but I think Salmon, sorry, Phil, I think Salmon took the opportunity, unlike all the rest of them, to go to a food bank and use it as an opportunity to criticise the existence of food banks. All of the rest of them, when they turn up at food banks, smile and say, isn't this wonderful and we support it.
It's 5 times more people using food banks this year than last year.
I know.
Yeah, and there'll be even more next year.
Down south it's 20.
Be even more.
It's huge. It is absolutely massive. It's gone from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands.
These things are hardwired into American and Australian society, and they have been for decades.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do here. They want to get rid of Social Security. They want to get rid of that. You had, I think it was Osborne spraffing away there the other day about, you know, all these Romanians and Bulgarians that are coming over, because apparently in Romania the minimum wage is only £1 an hour. So they're going to be flooding over here to get riches of £6.19 an hour.
Wait a minute. They're £10 a work a week less for dole money. They're the equivalent of £61.
Of dole money in
Of dole money, yeah.
Romania. And think what that'll get you in Romania.
Do you know what they get?
What does £61 get you
Do you know they get in the
UK?
Irish Republic for your job seekers allowance? €200 a week.
Yeah.
We have probably one of the most niggardly pensions and
Just
welfare systems.
Just going back to your,
in Europe.
interestingly enough, just going back to your food bank comment, I did during PMQs this week, I'm pretty sure it was, maybe in a separate debate, but I think it was PMQs, the Labour Party were having a go about food banks, and the Tories said something like, it's all very well you giving us this, but Germany, which is much more affluent than Britain, allegedly,
My experience is.
yes, it certainly is. I was being facetious. They've got food banks as well. So what are you talking about? It's not unique to Britain. Lots of people have food banks. That was the defence. But that was news to me. I would never have imagined the Germans had food banks. But apparently, according to this assertion in Westminster, there are
Well, they
food
could.
banks.
They could have. They've had a problem with Turkish. It was never meant to be immigration. Gas
Arbiters, yeah.
Yeah, and
ever
France,
since the 60s. So.
Yeah, no.
there is some small food banks, nothing on the scale that we're getting, and they are growing because, well, we are still in a recession. But it was also, I think it was Gove that said, the only reason like with these food banks isn't because of poverty, it's because people just can't manage their finances.
Yeah, I know.
That's why it is.
But look at that.
I know.
With the debate on food banks in Westminster, which along with a whole lot of other stuff didn't get properly covered by the mainstream media, where IDS is sitting there smirking like a demented fucking gerbil. And then he walked out in the middle of the debate, and his assistant is giving it loads of that, and
You've
they were
got
laughing.
to bear
They were
in mind
laughing.
all these
Of course they're laughing.
You've got to bear in mind that all these welfare cuts are really popular in the southeast of England because of their completely right-wing
I know.
slant of all the media.
I know.
But also, I mean,
Definitely, I mean, they talk about the devil's greatest trick is making you not believe he exists. That is exactly what the Tories have done. Their PR machine has been so successful on immigration, on welfare, on the push about jobs. They've beaten everybody hands down. People believe it. My daughter, who should know bloody better, is prepared to go with it.
but it's not that they're beating everybody hands down.
No.
It's that term that you get in sport, which you know when you beat somebody, but when you have a walkover, when the opposition lies down,
Yeah,
and when
but
you
wait.
look at the Labour front bench,
Yeah.
what do they do?
I'm
no.
sorry, this has got nothing, actually nothing.
Oh,
to do
it's-
with
there's
Tory
nothing
politics.
coming
This
from
is
The
the
not-
Labour
outside.
Party have the same policies on
Yeah,
welfare and
No,
immigration.
and the reason for that is because the people in the country have bought it.
Yeah, but that's true. However, there is one other dimension that has to be recognised that isn't recognised properly in this country, and that is that the Tories don't need a great PR machine. The media are complicit in this.
Yeah.
The media will not challenge assertions. There are very few real journalists left who will challenge assertions in a balanced way. I mean, if you listen to that bastard Naughty this morning, you know, he gave Malcolm Bruce an easy run when he said, well, of course, our committee has concluded it makes total sense in terms of overseas aid. Britain is the best place to have overseas aid. If you split it up into the rest of the UK and Scotland, overseas aid will be 10 times worse, and Scotland can't do it. Mumble grunt, blah, blah, blah. Now, I didn't actually hear his interview with Hamza Yusuf, but I had his interview with Malcolm Bruce, and he was roll over and rub my tummy. Apparently, he gave, as he would, because we know he's a unionist apparatchik, he gave Hamza Yusuf a hard time. So...
What's your point?
Well, the point is the party PR machine isn't what's relevant. The media are compliant.
It's the same difference, the same group.
In this, interestingly enough, in London, the Tory party, they just send them what they want and they write it. They don't try and do any balance.
In Scotland, it's a Labour Party.
It's a Labour Party, and they publish exactly what they've said.
My point is really, if for some reason, if it became undeniable that the working class having decent wages would make more money for the 1%, and there was a seismic change in Tory policy, that's the line they would take. And the people, it would take them 5 years, but the people would buy into it.
Okay.
They're just so much better at doing it.
Right, then, gentlemen, even today's review has not been the most exciting, let alone the FMQs, but thank you very much for contributing.
That was an
and
insult.
thank you. And thank you if you stayed to the end of this week's FMQs review, the last one of the year. And look forward to seeing you
And we
again.
are going to the pub.
Yeah, chuck the Tory for Christmas.
Oh, I thought it was office party time.
Yes, we're going to the pub.
We're going to the pub. Thanks for
So if you
watching.
want to buy us a pint, we'll be in a cask and barrel.
I know,
Cask and barrel. Right, thanks very much, gentlemen.